Hi, if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. Or if you're like me and you've been here before, welcome back. In today's video, we're actually going to be doing something with the same yarn that I had left over from making this sweater. I do still have some left over. The plan was to use it all, but we'll figure something else out for that yarn. I'm going to be making this granny square tote bag, which, as you can see, doesn't just have the sweater yarn in it. I actually used that same yarn that I used for the slipper. I just got it in a pink color as well, so that I could use it to complement my main yarn for the granny squares. So in this video today, I'm gonna be showing you guys how I made the granny squares as well as the stitch for the side, which I did make sure to include a link to the stitch instructions below for the side stitches on the tote bag, just so you guys can go to that website and do it as well. So it is in the description, as well as, of course, all of the materials that I used and the other information for this video. But we're gonna be making this granny square tote bag. So join me as I get crocheting, and I hope you guys have something cool to work on as well. Or if you're just joining me to watch, well, enjoy the show, and I hope you learned something new in today's video. Here are all the materials that I used for this project. You have the main yarn, which of course is the same yarn I used for my sweater, the Premier Puzzle. Again, it's a 5 bulky, takes a size 6mm hook, and I started off with 200 grams and 300 meters, but of course I have less than that now. So I already made one granny square, as you can see in the background, and well, we're making the second one and finishing off the bag. So this is the main yarn I'm using. Again, I don't have a size 6 hook. I really do need to get one. So for right now, and just like the last time, I'm going to be using this J 5mm hook, which I can't seem to get the camera to focus, but that's the size of the hook. It's a J 5.75mm. Then on the side, just in case I run out of this main yarn, I also have this one, which is the same one I actually used to make the gold slippers, the Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Bulky. This one is a size 6 super bulky, and it actually takes a 9mm hook, which I'm sure you've guessed it, I don't have a 9mm, so I'm using this you saw it for like a split second there, this L8mm hook, just in case I need the yarn. I do have a bit more than this one, but that's what I'm showing for right now. So these are the materials, and of course I have stitch markers as well as a tapestry needle and my scissors ready to go. So I'm ready to start making that second granny square so we can finish off this bag. So I like to start my granny squares with a magic loop. So I'm going to show you guys how I like to make that. So I take my working yarn and I wrap it around my 3 fingers, the pointer finger, the middle finger, and the ring finger. And you're just going to take it from here and just wrap it around, and then you wrap the yarn all the way around again until you're at the top, and there you have it. So just to show you guys again, take your working yarn, wrap it around until you're back up at the top, and you crisscross them just so you don't get confused. You take your hook, you go under the tail end of the yarn, and you hook the working yarn under the tail end again. You pull it up, and then of course you would yarn over and loop it like if you were making a slip stitch, and there you have your magic circle. So now I can start with my half double crochet, which is how I'm going to be making this granny square. So that's my first half double crochet, and I can just make the other 3 to start the base of the granny square, and then chain 2, and that's going to be my first corner. Then again, 3 half double crochet, and then chain 2, 3 half double crochet, chain 2, and then our last set of 3 half double crochet. And then chain 2. Now, usually in this point, I like to just pull the loop a little farther out so that I can pull my loop, my magic loop together and make my square without having that big hook in the way. And then we just re-loop the yarn onto the hook. I threw my tail end to the back of my work. Now I'm gonna slip the stitch and start on my next row. You chain 1 and turn. Now I'm in a corner, so in this corner I'm gonna half double crochet 3, 2, 3. Now since I'm in a corner, let me just pull it here a little bit so that the stitches adjust. I'm in the corner, so I chain 2. You chain 2 for every corner, and then you go back again, and 3 more half double crochet in that corner. That's 2, and that's 3. Then you just chain 1, skip these 3 half double crochets on this row, and we come right into this next corner, and we half double crochet in the corner again. And remember, since it's a corner, we're going to chain 2 and then do another set of 3 half double crochet. Then it's chain 1, and I'd move on to the next corner, and so I'll come back when I finish the 2 remaining corners. Okay, so I finished that second row, and as you can see, I'm no longer in the corner. Starting on the 3rd row, I'm actually in the middle of the row, and like we can see on the first one that I finished, it's gonna continue to build up from the center, so I'm no longer in the corner of the project, thankfully. So I'm just gonna keep going here, where I'm gonna keep doing the clusters of 3 half double crochet in each chain space. So I'll do 3 half double crochet here, then chain 1 when I'm in the corner. Like in every corner from here on out, I'm gonna do 3 half double crochet, chain 2, and then do 3 more half double crochet to finish the corner, and then it's just a set of 3 half double crochet in each single chain space all the way throughout until you finish the granny square. So we're gonna keep going from here. Okay, I'm back just to let you guys know. As you saw, I finished this square. I have this much yarn left over. Unfortunately, this isn't enough yarn to finish the last row of this square. So, and this one I only have 13, while in this one I have 14. So I'm actually going to take one away from this one, so that way they're both the same size. And when I come back, I'll be using the super bulky yarn to make the little bar in the middle, so that way I can add just a little bit more depth to the bag. So that way it's not just these two granny squares sewn together and that's it. There's actually some, space in between. So I'll come back and I'll show you guys what that's gonna look like. But right now I'm just gonna be finishing off this square and taking off a stripe from this one. So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so here are my two granny squares. Both of them have 13 rows and both of them are good and ready to go. And I love the way they look for both of them. This yarn, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'm gonna buy this colorway again, but I'm definitely tempted to get it. This is the yarn that was left over after making the two granny squares, both 13 rows. Like I said in the last one, I didn't have enough to finish the 14th row on this square, so I just took one away from this one. So here we have both rows both squares matching, and the leftover yarn that I'll probably use to sew the two panels plus the stripe that I'm gonna make out of this color together. So everything will get used. But right now, like I said, I'm just gonna make the stripe that goes in between both panels so that we can have some depth or some width, I guess, to this purse. But that's what we're doing now. Okay, so like I said, we're getting ready to start working on the straps. Now there is a change in plan. I am still going to use the super bulky anti-pilling yarn that I showed you guys in the materials portion of the video, but I'm not going to use the 8mm hook. I'm actually going to keep using the J hook, the 5.75 that we used to make those granny squares to make the straps, just because it's going to give me a more dense fabric than if I were to use the correct hook size, just so that nothing's falling out of the sides or the bottom of the purse. But I'm going to show you guys how to make the stitch that I'm actually making for this one. It's going to be the single crochet grid stitch, which I just learned today. So now I get to show you guys how to do it too. So we start off, and I am going to make sure to include the stitch instructions on how to do it in the pattern below where I learned it, so that you guys can learn as well if you're better with reading than with seeing. But we're going to start off with a slip knot on our hook, and then we're going to chain in multiples of 2 plus 1. So I'm going to do 7. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 1 makes 7. Then we're going to skip these 2 stitches, and in that third chain from our hook, we're going to do a single crochet. And so that's 1 single crochet. Now we have to keep in mind, for this pattern, this chain actually does count as a single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets technically, then you skip 1 single crochet into the next, 2 single crochets, into the next one. So that's 1, 2, and now we're at the end of our chain, and of the pattern states that for the last 2 stitches you're going to skip 1 and single crochet and do 2 single crochets into that last stitch. So we would be doing skipping this chain, and into this last chain we make 2 single crochet. Yep. We try to make 2 single crochet. Here we go. That's 1, and that's 2. It's coming, I promise. That's 2. So that's the first row of our single crochet grid stitch. Then you chain 1 and turn, and that chain 1 is going to count as 1 single crochet. So we're going to do a single crochet right into that same first stitch after the turning chain. So that's 1 single crochet, you skip 1, single crochet 2 into the next, skip 1, single crochet 2 into the next one. Now you chain 1 and turn. And then it's just the same thing again, single crochet, skip a stitch, 2 single crochet, skip a stitch, 2 single crochet. Chain 1 and turn. And this is what it should look like. Obviously it's gonna look better if it's bigger, but this is what it should look like. And as you can see, it does get pretty dense. I know we see the holes down here, but those will close up the more I go crocheting, and when I finish it off and I block it, it should close those little holes. But I'm pretty confident this is gonna give me the thickness or the sturdiness that I want, especially for the bottom of the tote bag. The sides, not so much, but the bottom is definitely important to have it with a good, strong, closed stitch. So I'm gonna keep going and I'll show you guys once I'm done with the straps. Okay, I'm back to show the progress that I've made on the strap. This is actually the wrong side right now, just as you can see the little knots on this side. So this is one strap, and my thought was to make 3 separate straps. But now thinking about it, and since it is actually the perfect size, you know, for one side of the granny square, and all the squares are going to be the same size, the same sizes since it's a square, and I did measure them, they're 12 inches on each side, so the square went successfully. So I'm just going to make this, I'm going to make a bar basically that's 12 3 times, so 36 inches. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually changing the color. So I have pink, which this one would be for one of the sides, so it would go on this side of the bag, and then I'd need one on the other side of the bag for the bottom, and then to complete the 3rd side, which of course I'll leave the 4th side open to be able to use the bag. So I'm actually going to change the color from pink to gold for the bottom. This is actually the same gold yarn that I used for my slippers. So this is the Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Bulky, the same as the pink one, but in the color Goldrod. And as you know, I'm still using the same hook, the 5.75J. So, I mean, I'm just gonna change colors. And I did make the strap thicker, of course. It's actually 2 times thicker. So I started off with 7, and now I have 13 stitches here. So it is a little bit thicker, but it's at 3.5 inches, and this is at 12 inches, which I can actually show you guys now. So the strap itself is 12 inches long, as you can see right there, and then it is, it's 3 inches wide, but it's 3 inches wide, 12 inches long. And now I'm gonna add in the gold. So what I did was just single crochet like normal, in like how it is in my pattern. So at this point I did 1, 2 single crochet in that last single crochet of the row. And now I'm just going to, I'm not going to make a slip stitch. I'm just going to take my yarn, my new yarn. I'm going to move the tail end. I'm going to move the tail end to the back. We're going to skip over these knots here. I don't want to have to deal with that. And I'm just going to finish. I'm just going to finish my single crochet like normal. And you just pull this one so that it's a little tighter. Okay. Finish my single crochet, chain 1, and turn. Now for this row, I'm actually going to work in the back loops so that the strap naturally folds in that direction to the back. So we're going to follow our pattern like how we have been, but I'm going to do the single crochet on the first single crochet in the back. So, and this portion of the stitch. So we're just going to come back here or under one loop and do our single crochet like normal. Then we skip just like how in the pattern, but in the back loop for that next one, we're going to put in those 2 single crochet. And then we skip 1, 2 single crochet in that back loop. Again, we skip 1, and in this loop here, we do 2 single crochet. 1, 2, skip 1, 2 single crochet, 1, 2, again skip 1, and then that last stitch in the row we do 2 single crochet in the back loop, then we just chain and turn. And now I've changed colors, and as you can see, the collar or the strap just naturally folds back here, so it'll be very easy to just sew everything together since it's making a corner now, as you can see. So I'm just going to continue with my single crochet grid stitch, and I'll come back when I'm ready to change back to the pink. See you guys then. I'm finally ready. I have everything that I need to start making the actual bag. So I have my needle and my thread, my side and bottom panel, and my 2 granny squares, which are already facing wrong sides together. We can tell because of the safety pins. And I have the bottoms where I want them, the 2 sides where I want them, and the top where I want it. So we are ready, and I did make sure I measured everything and made sure that everything was gonna fit. So I'm ready to start putting the bag together. So that's what we're gonna see next. So I finished sewing the squares onto the straps. So here's the gray square, or the square with the gray on the outside, and here is the other side of the bag with the pink on the outside. And I really do like the way the gold bottom looks with the pink sides, and everything's sewed up pretty easily. So now what we're just gonna do, or I'm just gonna reattach the pink bulky yarn, and I'm gonna make a strap so that way we can finish up this tote bag. But I really like it. It's super cute. Well, I'm gonna finish it up now. So here it is. The Granny Springer tote bag is completed. I finished the straps with just simple double crochets. So I did 4 on each corner, and I did put them on a row of single crochet. But here is the bag. Here's one side. This is the gold bottom, which I'm loving. I'm telling you, it's super cute. Here's the other side, which is pink. Then we have our granny squares, the one with the gray border, and our granny square with the pink border. And here's the bag. This is what it looks like on the inside. It looks super cute. Of course, my cell phone definitely fits in here, as well as my keys and my wallet. So if I ever need to go out, I can definitely put it in here. And I can also use it to hold yarn for, well, when I'm not going anywhere, which has been recently. So I can put my yarn in here instead of having it in the plastic bags that I buy it in, or in the reusable shopping bags, so I can use them for shopping again. And I can just put my yarn in here. It's super cute. And I hope you guys made your own. I hope you guys enjoyed the process. You were able to follow along, and I hope you had fun. I had a great time, and I'm so in love with the way it turned out. I'm glad I had enough scrap yarn of the orange as well as the catskill yarn here that made the granny square bodies to actually be able to make it a pretty good size bag and finish it. So I'm pretty happy with the way that it all worked out. If you liked the video, sorry about that. If you liked the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to join me next week on my next video. I am still waiting for my yarn to come in for my 1963 retro temperature blanket. So as soon as that comes on, of course, I'll show you guys the yarn that I got. I'll show you guys the plans and everything, how it's all gonna go. But for right now, I'm still waiting on that. So we'll see what my next video is gonna be. Join me. I'll see you guys next week. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to join me on my Instagram at chaotic_curl_crafts. See you guys there. Have a good day.